Namaste, angels. Sorry, I'm so late. In addition to the these readings that I do, collective readings, and the client readings and healing work that I do, I also do. I also have a regular life like everybody else, and then on top of that, I also do a lot of like humanitarianism and philanthropy type stuff. So I'm on like several different boards. And one of the boards that I'm on is a youth nonprofit. We raise money to send kids to after school, to provide after school to kids and things like swimming lessons and different sports and stuff like that. And then we send them to day camp and summer camp and stuff. So we're having a big event, and I've just been very involved in that. And in fact, I just got off of Zoom just now, and today's my birthday, but I also celebrated my birthday in the daytime. And yeah, that's why I wasn't here. So just pulling some cards to get us started. Um, and the reason I just wanted to go ahead and come on when I had a moment just now, okay, is because there were two major transits this week on Sunday when I would have normally done the reading, which were Mercury entering Gemini, which it rules. It's also, of course, the ruler of the sign of Virgo. And what was the other? Oh, Pluto. Pluto went retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. So that's another major thing. In fact, the first card that fell out this week, or just now, for this week or this time period, I guess today through the weekend, is the Death card, which represents the planet Pluto and the sign of Scorpio, of course. So, about something coming to an end. There's going to be some kind of end in some area of your life. Now, in the surrounding energy, we have the Five of Swords. So, that ending, isn't it funny how as soon as I try to show you the cards, is when it gets extra bright in here? It was kind of dark, and I tried to do that on purpose. Um, Here's the Five of Swords. Okay, now you can see it. And that's in the surrounding energy. So that could be something having to do with close friends, family members, co-workers, something at your job or something in general, energy that surrounds you. Please ignore my very nappy roots. I'm having major shrinkage right now. I also cut my hair's been cut also because, when you bleach your hair, yeah, it gets messed up. But this is mostly like shrinkage. It's just so nappy here. So just try to ignore it. I apologize. Um, my hairdresser, well, I'm psychic, but what I'm gonna say is this morning, I knew her daughter was pregnant, and her daughter's is due, I think next month or whatever. I don't know. I guess I had a feeling this morning that her daughter was gonna have the baby because I was supposed to have an appointment this week. I need one. Um, but for some reason, I didn't. I text my hairdresser and I didn't say anything about my appointment. I said something like, all the best to, you and your daughter or something like that. I just texted her this morning and then I didn't hear back from her until tonight. And she wrote me back, thank you. I'm actually not going to be working this week, so my appointment's canceled. She had the baby today. I guess I must have felt that coming on. Um, anyway, in our surrounding energy, some kind of conflict. This may be what leads to the ending, okay? Whether it might be in somebody's job. Now, thankfully, these energies aren't going to show up in everybody's life, or at least not the same way if they do show up. But in the position of work and finance, we do have the Three of Swords. Um, this could have to do with somebody who works with their partner or works with their love interest. Something may go down between them and not really having to do with the actual work. In the position of, where'd you guys go? Okay. In the position of love and relationship, we have the Nine of Pentacles. So this can often be like a single energy. It can be representative of partnerships as well, where it has to do with like mutual respect and adoration, both of you seeing each other, as elevated figures. You think highly of each other, but it can often represent a single energy. So between death, the Five of Swords, the Three of Swords, and then we have the Nine of Pentacles in that position of love and relationship, thinking maybe something is off there. And maybe not so much having to do with actual work, but maybe some sort of party of three, and there's a conflict. You get into it with somebody from your job because you're both seeing the same person. You and somebody else are both dealing with the same person at the job. Um, you see, in this Five of Swords card, there's two people walking away. One looks really devastated, and this other person standing there like, what did I do? So I think there's one person, and the one person's holding two swords. And the Two of Swords is about a decision that has to be made. So this person may have chosen one person over the other, and maybe all three of you know each other, and again, perhaps even work together in some kind of capacity. And so maybe in love and relationships, we have people ending up single. And again, of course, that is not going to apply to anybody, but good thing the Nine of Pentacles can also apply to couples in a very positive way. Um, and I do see positivity in terms of relationships here too. So for physical health, we have the Nine of Cups, somebody wishing, hoping for something, uh, positive. It's in relation to their health. They're getting that news. And then spirituality, we have the Two of Cups. So this could, of course, definitely be tied to spiritually based relationships, um, you know, divine counterparts, soulmates, things like that. I do want to pull, now that we've done that, clarifiers for, I don't necessarily need to do one each. At the bottom of the deck, by the way, we have, the Seven of Swords in reverse just fell away. So maybe somebody had been not being truthful and stuff, and now they are. Maybe something has come out. Maybe they told you the truth, and that's what caused the conflict and the heartbreak. So that just fell out. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Swords, who is most directly an Aquarius, but also possibly a Gemini, where the sun is currently located, or a Libra. So we don't necessarily need three clarifiers for Death, Five of Swords, and Three of Swords, but I want at least one. Um, let's do one for the Five of Swords and our surrounding energy. Ooh, look, Tower. Okay. Normally I'd pull a clarifier for the Tower. But yeah, clarifying that conflict with the Tower. So something could happen all of a sudden something blows up and becomes like a big conflict. And let's see for the Three of Swords. For the Three of Swords, we have the Six of Wands. So maybe somebody recovers from some sort of loss in terms of their finances or work there. Or maybe there's a competition. Sometimes these cards can be about competition, and we have the person who's watching this, or tied to this situation, um, coming out on top. Let's pull one more. It's the Eight of Cups. Again, walking away, leaving, something ending. And there is, some emotions tied to it. So even if it's like leaving one's job, somebody could all of a sudden decide to resign. Um, so then it's their choice. In that kind of case, it's their choice, but it's still unexpected. Like in New York yesterday, the police commissioner resigned, and that was kind of like a big deal because she's like person of color, a woman, all this stuff. All of a sudden, she was out, and she said the reason was because like the mayor was still trying to like, he was using her as like a puppet. He was still pulling the strings from the back. Okay, so now I somehow ended up with two piles in my hand, and at the bottom of one is still the Queen of Swords, and at the bottom of the other is now the Devil. So I usually put the bigger pile on the bottom, and it's the one with the Devil. Well, one more card for the Tower. And just try to give as much clarity as possible. So far, nothing fell out yet, but at the bottom of the deck now we have the Five of Wands. So again, conflict, competition in your surrounding energy. For some, this can have to do also with, like I said, love and relationship. And again, maybe something tied to work. We have the Eight of Pentacles that just fell out now. Something tied to work, even if it is love and relationship. And maybe one person being chosen over the other in this competition. Or it can be specifically a work thing and having nothing to do with romantic situation, but maybe again there are people competing and one person gets chosen over the other. And it might be a surprise, like the underdog may come out on top, like surprisingly. The bottom of the deck now we have the Page of Wands. And the Page of Wands often tied to something having to do with work and or travel. So somebody could have a new job, and maybe that's very unexpected. Maybe somebody gets a new job because somebody again unexpectedly resigns or unexpectedly gets fired. So all of a sudden you find yourself promoted or something. I don't know what this is. Something just popped up on the screen. I apologize. All of a sudden you find yourself in a new job unexpectedly, um, because somebody is suddenly gone. And with the Nine of Cups sitting under that pile, it could be something that you even a job, a position, an opportunity that you've even wished and hoped for, just didn't necessarily expect to get. There's another scenario like that going on with some of my friends. A girl that I went to high school with for a couple of years, she's a judge. We voted her, elected her judge. I was part of the group that sort of nominated her, got her on the ballot. The city of New York elected her. She's a civil court judge. So a friend of mine, again, former classmate of mine. She just got promoted unexpectedly by our governor, made her a claims court judge, and by appointment. And so now there is a countywide competition for her, for no longer her seat, but what had been her civil court seat, countywide civil court seat. So it could be something like that. Again, that has to do with work, competition. Somebody's going to come out on top. Somebody's going to win. Could be the underdog. Based on these cards, particularly, could be the underdog. So you can apply it to your own situations. Something ends though, because our overall general energy, or the primary energy that represents us as a collective, is death. So there's transformation, there's transition, there is ending, but there's also a new start to something. And actually, either it's later in the week or it's early next week. Might be Saturday. We have so which would be the last day for which this reading would be. We have a new moon. So there is going to be also new energy that comes around this week too, the Gemini new moon. So something comes to an end. And it may involve an actual Scorpio. We got a lot of this scorpionic energy here with or Pluto energy showing up with the Tower also here. And then remember we had the Devil at one point at the bottom of the deck. Devil represents, in terms of signs, the sign of Capricorn. And as I started to mention at the beginning of the reading, Pluto entered Capricorn No, Pluto was already in Capricorn. Pluto went retrograde in Capricorn, where it was already located on Sunday, the 11th, which would have been the first day for this reading, based on how I do it for the week. Um, so there's all that. So let's move into, um, I guess, more specific reasons that the Three of Swords in general, maybe having nothing to do with the Six of Wands as a clarifier, or even the Eight of Cups as a clarifier, just the Three of Swords on its own, what it can mean for working. Beginning with finances, the Three of Swords can mean perhaps that we're in need of some sort of help financially, whether it's like advice or maybe we need money from someone or somewhere, loan or something. Now, again, um, the positive uh, spin that the Six of Wands puts on this would be, if that was the case, if we need, credit or again somebody to help us out, would be that they do. Okay, and then we can walk away from the sense of pain and loss and need of the situation, because we will have been, you know, um, made whole and successful by someone or something. So that's finances. Again, in terms of work, if it doesn't mean actually, leaving a job, getting fired, resigning, whatever, it could be, just like you get your feelings hurt at work by someone or something. Maybe again in a conflict, in an argument, a debate with the Five of Swords sitting next to it in our surrounding energy. Somebody gets their ego bruised, maybe. Maybe you need help at work. Maybe you don't quite understand something. You need somebody else to show you your way through something. And you shouldn't be, if there is somebody that can help you, you shouldn't be like, again, too prideful to ask for help or support. Um, in this kind of situation. Yeah, so it doesn't have to be like the worst possible thing, like something dire. But it does look like for a lot of people, has to do with a conflict at work and something that is somewhat unexpected. Again, the Eight of Pentacles speaks of work. It's in the work and finance position. We have the Five of Swords, which is conflict, and then we clarified it with the Tower. So, again, unexpected blow up. With the Three of Swords, though, again, that often has to do with some kind of party of three. Somebody also could walk away from, more emotionally, and energetically, walk away from like working too much, walk away from like being a workaholic, and maybe something triggers it, and they realize like, what the hell am I doing? Like, y'all don't even this job. The coworkers, they're not really your friends, they're your coworkers. So maybe something triggers that, and you realize like, I've been putting too much into y'all. Y'all are not my friends or my family, my loved ones. You know, this is my job. You're my coworkers. Or, yeah, you just realize you're giving all your energy to the office. And at the end of the day, like, these people don't love you. This place doesn't love you. If something happens to you, it's going to continue to go on without you, without a second thought. It's not even going to miss a beat. So there could be something like that triggers that realization. And so you walk away from constantly giving all of your energy to, um, these other people, this place. And again, that's a personal success. That's a personal triumph for you, um, albeit emotional, because maybe it was something that you had always done. A lot of people, like, they love their work. They pour themselves wholly into their work, into their jobs. And so then you could find yourself having more time to nurture yourself and take care of tend to your garden, whether that is literal or figurative. And it may include, again, tending to a relationship that had otherwise been, maybe neglected or maybe not even started because you were a workaholic. And now it's going to be able to begin. And so that's why your physical health, you're not you're less stressed because you're not just working, and killing yourself. You are taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, taking time to yourself, and giving time to your most important partnerships. And that's something that you've been wanting to do. I don't really um see anything about court, but I am sort of hearing something about court. Maybe somebody's in some sort of legal battle with somebody else, whether it's a divorce or something, and you may have been expecting to lose money or your house. Sometimes a tower for me is an actual building structure like a home. You could have been expecting maybe to lose, she gonna take half or something like that. Um, in order for you to walk away, you got to leave half your belongings, and that's not happening. Okay, so again, there is a success here with the Six of Wands. So there could still be some sort of loss that has to do with maybe a party of three and or something that to which you are emotionally connected. But so in some sense, it's going to cost you to get out of this situation. It's going to cost you to cut um, those ties, those brackets, those handcuffs that show up in the devil card. You're not going to get out for free, but it's not going to be like all your hard-earned money, everything that you've worked hard for, you're not going to have to give away. All right. Aside from that, I guess we'll talk more about the Nine of Pentacles now. We could do, and so, um, hmm, basically, as I was saying before, the Nine of Pentacles is a positive omen for love. Also, it's not just about being single. Um, in fact, it really means, in traditional tarot, specific to love, that if you are partnered or you have a love interest in mind, or maybe somebody that you in a situationship, you've been trying to get to a real relationship, you got your person, you know who your person is. That relationship, particularly if you're already committed, is expected to grow to new heights. So over the in the very near future, over this period. Um, if you are single, again, somebody new is coming. They're likely a brand new person. I mean, it could be an ex or something, but likely a new person, I would say, based on our overall energy, the Page of Wands. Um, and this person has like the makings to be just a really awesome mate for you, the kind of person that you could have a long, healthy, fertile, prosperous, abundant relationship with. And so you're getting a new opportunity to do that. And I guess it could be an X too, and because actually the Page of Wands, particularly in reverse, can be about finishing something that was started in the past. So that could be a relationship too. And behind this Page of Wands is actually a seven, or the Seven of Cups in reverse. So it is like somebody has made a decision, they've made a new choice. Maybe that's what happened with the party of three, and maybe that was sort of sudden. Maybe it was Pluto in Capricorn that moved somebody to, make a choice and say, I got to get rid of this relationship that is not working, that I've put effort into, and it's just costing me. Um, it's not providing me, not benefiting me with any abundance. It's costing me. So I've made a new choice, and I'm, choosing this other person. And maybe because the time is finally right. I don't know what's going on with the lighting. This is this is a new one. They don't usually make the cards blurry. Now look at me. Now did you see what just happened? Oh man. Come on, guys. All right. So anyway, behind the Seven of Cups in reverse, we do have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is indicative of something being in divine timing, and happening now, because it's meant to happen. It's the right time. And it may be particularly tied to the energy of like Scorpio, the fixed signs. We had the Queen of Swords at the bottom of the deck, this Aquarius, also Leo. That may be what the Page of Wands is tied to, right? The fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What's the other one? Taurus would be the other fixed sign. All right, so that is the Nine of Pentacles. Just noticing we have the two nines too. I wonder what, let me look at these also, these numbers. Because it looks like we either have major arcana cards that have no numbers, or we have numbers. We have no court cards or anything laying here. So, we got the Eight of Pentacles. 8 plus the Three of Swords is 11. Plus the Eight of Cups. We got two eights also. Plus the Eight of Cups is 19. Um, plus the Six of Wands is 25. Plus the Nine of Pentacles is 32. 34. I said 25 right before. 34. Plus the Nine of Cups is 43. Plus the Two of Cups is 45. Is 9. Nines are about endings. Nines are about endings. Makes sense. The Tower. Because aside from these numerical cards, the only cards that we have are Death and the Tower. And they're both about, endings, and very possibly abrupt endings. Like you're making a decision now to end something, or the universe is making a decision for you, because it's karmic energy and something's coming to an end. With this Nine of Cups, in the position of health, again, if you've been waiting for like test results or something, you're likely to be pleased with whatever those results are. If you had some sort of procedure, you're likely to be pleased with the outcome of that procedure, the results. Um, and if you haven't had any of that, then you should probably just be having a good week in general in terms of your health, your energy level, um, and maybe your level of happiness, joy. Like all of this stuff sort of seeps into our how our bodies react, right? Um, if that's the case and you have like more energy and just you just feel good, it's a good time to any like good habits that you have already, maybe exercising or eating right or whatever that means for you, or skin regimen, whatever it is. It could be a good time while your energy is really good to like increase that, amp up on it. So I can do more sets at the gym, or I can eat more salad at home, or I can, again, incorporate other things into whatever's making me feel good. Um, which could be, again, something more emotional than physical, maybe, like something having to do with a relationship. Incorporating more of what makes you feel good. Who makes you happy? What makes you happy? May be the ticket. Specific to spirituality and this Two of Cups. Two of Cups, in that position, is often about ourselves, like sort of feeling like one with yourself and with the universe, like, um, just really feeling connected. It's one of the cards that represents like the heart chakra. And again, that could have to do with something that went on. You could get something could get triggered, and maybe it is associated with, again, an into overworking, or to ignoring, not putting enough energy into your relationships, or ending a relationship with someone big so you can have a relationship with somebody else, whatever. It could definitely be tied to any of that, to this Tower, to this death, into this Three of Swords and the Eight of Cups. But of course, the Two of Cups is a very positive and happy card. So whatever that ending was, it's allowing you to put more energy into, love, whether that is, again, self-love and just feeling one with the universe and one with yourself and united and aligned and all of that, um, or another person or both. Again, it could also be, tied directly to divine unions, soulmate relationships, and, again, maybe something had to end or some obstacle had to be overcome. And it was with the Six of Wands. Again, that's a win, that's a triumph. You walked away from something because you overcame it as an obstacle. And now that is allowing you to be with your soulmate. And again, if that, or to be with somebody, whatever. Um, again, this Nine of Pentacles is another indication of relationships increasing, improving, the bonds tightening in a particular relationship, and this could be a brand new opportunity for that to happen. And it does look like, at least for some, it involves a conscious choice, decision, and also, again, divine timing. Now let's look at some. I'll put these in randomly, these back, and we'll see if we can pull some that are just specific to love for more information. Just a couple. This on a larger scale, maybe a famous couple or something. Wow. Just as I was about to say, because I was getting this download that maybe like a famous couple or something might break up, and so we might see that on TV. And I couldn't even get the sentence out of my mouth before the tower was jumping out yet again. But also the Ten of Cups. Justice on the bottom of the deck. Again, that could be your legal situation, perhaps even divorce or something. The Empress just fell out. The Emperor is now here in my hand at the bottom. Empress just fell out. I don't know why they're preventing me from showing you the cards again. So then, for something's going on with the divine union. Something else comes crashing down, or there's a major realization that you realize that you want to be connected, want to maybe even renew a connection, and have some honesty between you, some communication, and get to an understanding with the Ace of Swords here on top of the everything is fine card. And we have this person looking at their phone. Maybe they're looking for a text that hasn't come in, or they're looking at a text that has come in, and maybe they're misunderstanding it and they're thinking it means something negative. And again, everything is fine. If you didn't get a text and you wanted a text, and you thought you needed a text, everything is still fine. Um, we have the Six of Wands again, also behind that everything is fine card. So Emperor, Ace of Swords, everything is fine. Six of Wands, all upright. On the table, we have the Tower, the Ten of Cups, the Empress. And it says love only. Love only. Oh, there's that Three of Swords again. But the Four of Swords is on the bottom of the deck. So that could be representative of a past hurt or of a situation that happens. Again, maybe there's an ending with somebody that you're over them, but it's still, it's painful to have an ending. And now this is the recovery. Particularly in the case of like divorce or something. You don't just end a marriage, or a relationship with, say, the mother of your children or the father of your children or something like that, your family, and not have any feelings whatsoever. um, about it and or them. You know, again, something comes crashing down very suddenly. And now we have the Three of Swords sitting here under the Tower. Four of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Let me see that. Followed by the Four of Swords is back. Take two more. Knight of Cups under the Ten of Cups now. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Three of Cups at the bottom. So again, something is being celebrated, something is happy, and it may have to do with a party of three. You may realize I made the wrong choice before, I'm making the right choice now. It was the right choice to end this party of three. Now I'm going for chord, what would make me happy. We have the 9 and the 10 of cups here. So you normally, with the 8 of cups, if you want to think about it, right, this person's walking away. You figure, what are they walking toward? They're walking toward the 9 of cups, right? That's the next step. They're working toward their wish fulfillment. So they're leaving something behind that they may have, obviously they had some sort of emotional connection to that too, but they're leaving it behind so that they can work toward what would be wish fulfillment, what would really make me happy ultimately. Um, what I've been asking the universe, for to bless me with before. And that's the 9 of cups. And the 9 of cups is only, you know, um, it's representing wish fulfillment and what we want, because what we want is the 10 of cups, you know, right? This ultimate happiness. And so I have no idea where my camera started. I mean, stopped. No idea what part of the reading this is. But I guess I can try to go over and summarize these cards really quickly. I just been talking and talking and talking and didn't realize the camera had like shut itself off. All right, so for love, I pulled in this order the Tower, the Ten of Cups, the Empress, the Three of Swords, the Knight of Cups, and the Nine of Cups. And then the Three of Pentacles fell out of the deck after I was already pulling cards. So I talked about that one. Then I clarified the Tower with the King of Pentacles. And I clarified the Three of Swords, two cards fell out, with the Five of Cups and the Six of Wands. Okay, so let me quickly try to tell a story here again. Something happens. Something changes. An energy. Maybe a King of Pentacles has a revelation. Maybe this is the workaholic that I was talking about before. Um, and he realizes that he wants, happiness, joy, family, the divine feminine energy around him, husband, wife, whatever that means, growth, expansion, abundance, somebody else that's as fruitful as him with whom he can build, right? This is the King of Pentacles. So this person works, they earn, they put energy in, but this is the Empress. So she does that as well. Of course, this card represents the planet Venus, who is the goddess of abundance and love, goddess of love and money. So she is going to, this is, fertile energy. This is energy of growth, of expansion. Somebody who can match his energy and build with him, not just watch him build or, take from him. So he may have had a realization of that, realizing that's what he wants. The camera just stopped again. He wants to offer his cup Um, we've got the Knight of Cups here. At least I realized that time that the camera had stopped. Now it's telling me my battery's low. I mean, all kinds of stuff is happening. They don't want me to get this message out. The bottom of the deck, we have the Lovers, Gemini energy here. Underneath the Lovers, we have the Queen of Swords, potentially more Gemini energy, most directly the energy of Aquarius, though. Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. It's stopped again. Um, Ten of Wands behind the Queen of Swords, and the King of Cups behind that, with the Nine of Wands behind him, and then the Fool behind those. Like, so there's a Queen of Swords type and a King of Cups type. It looks like that will take a leap. Very possibly an actual Gemini with the Lovers on the bottom of the deck, or a Libra with the Empress here, a Taurus as well. Um, and again, with the King of Pentacles, we have more Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. We have Scorpio, or the energy of like Mars with the Tower coming through. We have more Scorpio or water energy with the Knight of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. This Three of Swords, again, is representing some sort of sense of, um, loss, maybe something involving a party of three. However, when I pulled the clarifiers, as I mentioned, two cards fell out. They fell out face down, so I wasn't aware of what they were yet. And the first one I picked up and flipped over was the Five of Cups. So I said that this Three of Swords could represent disappointment, maybe disappointment that you're expecting, right? Maybe this is somebody that you know, or just from based on your past, you're expecting sadness, loss, disappointment. They're not going to do what they said, or I'm not going to get the kind of love I want. I'm not going to get the Ten of Cups. I'm not even going to get the Nine of Cups. Just worried about these Three Cups that I lost here, not realizing that I have two left over. Just more concerned with what I don't have than with what I have. But then we have the Six of Wands, which was the other card that I flipped over, the other card that fell out to clarify the Three of Swords. So again, there's a success, there's a triumph. Um, Whereas maybe again you were expecting loss, you were expecting something not to work. It does. Okay, it does work. There is success. Your text or phone call that you were hoping to get didn't come the time you wanted it, but it comes. Or everything's fine even if it doesn't come. Again, when we think about the Eight of Cups that we saw in the last spread, the general spread that I had done with the Eight of Cups, I don't remember if it was a clarifier, if it was one of the actual cards, but whatever it was, the Eight of Cups is somebody walking away toward what? Toward the Nine of Cups, right? They're leaving something behind so that they can move, something to which they're emotionally tied. They had feelings about it, but they're leaving that behind so they can move toward what would make them happy, genuinely happy, what they've been wishing for, praying for, dreaming about, hoping for, what had always been a goal for them. That's what they're walking away from this other thing for. So Nine of Cups. And then after the Nine of Cups, of course, is the Ten of Cups. I mean, the purpose of making this wish is so that I can end up with ultimate happiness. That's the Ten of Cups. And so this King of Pentacles, he's the slowest moving king in the deck. Similar to the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving of all the knights. And the reason he's the slowest moving king is because he's very methodical and he plans stuff out, you know, sometimes overdoes it, but he definitely wants to plan stuff out to the extent that he can. He doesn't want to make a move until he feels that he's prepared. I want to be able to facilitate whatever this plan is. And so I'm not going to do anything until I feel I can. If it costs money, I want to make sure I have the money. So I'm going to work real hard to earn the money. If it takes time, I want to make sure I set aside the time. So I got to do everything I have to do. I got to work, 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 work so that I end up with time. Whatever it is, that's what the King of Pentacles is doing, because ultimately, again, this spread is showing he wants to build with somebody. He wants to build with somebody. So whether you are already in an existing relationship and or commitment, if you're in one already and it's going well, it's going to get better. Okay. It's gonna get better. If you're only in like a situationship or something, that may turn into an actual commitment. Or at least you begin to talk about what an actual commitment between the two of you could look like and how you might be able to build one together. Okay. What a plan could be for you. And if you're single, um, it looks like you will be meeting somebody in the near future. And of course, you both have free will, but meeting somebody in the near future with whom you could really have, you know, something legit with that can go the distance, like life partner. Um, your life partner is ahead of you in the very near future. Now, I'm sure I said some other stuff that I've forgotten now, but I'm going to move on from this. And before this thing turns off again, I had also been guided to pull out the life purpose cards. I actually connected with Isis to ask her what she thought because, again, today is on June 13th. It is the major feast day of Our Lady of Fatima, beginning on May 13th through October 13th every year. There's in the Christian calendar the feast of Our Lady of Fatima. The first one in May was when Mary's said to have and believed to have appeared to three children back in the year 1917. And the children's parents and families and stuff didn't believe it. So they said, okay, when she comes back, we want to see. So when she came back in June, the whole town was outside and she appeared to everybody. And that is why we have the feast day of Our Lady of Fatima. So today is that day, the major feast day of Our Lady of Fatima. It is also the day on which this channel recognizes Isis, Mary's higher self, the higher version of Mary. And it is also maybe less interestingly or importantly to some, the feast day of Saint Anthony, who was actually a wealthy child. He grew up in a wealthy family, but gave away all his belongings to become a Franciscan monk. And he's remembered for two miracles, I think it was. The first one was somebody that was like harassing him that didn't believe that um he was really connected to God, that he was really a messenger of God and really, could do what he said he could do, or that God really existed, and that God could do what Anthony was telling them God could do. And so he had with him the thing they put the Eucharist in. What's it called? It's the Mon something. I should remember this. I went to so many years of Catholic school. It's called the Mon something. Mon stand. Anyway, it's the thing they put the Eucharist in. The bread and whatever. The little wafer. And he had that, and the guy brought out this mule. It's a donkey. That was like half starved, like it was skinny, it was hungry, right? And he brought out a bunch of food. So they put the food down, brought the mule out, and they put the Eucharist. He put the monstrand thing. I forget, I don't know why I can't remember the name. It's something like that, but that's not right. Monstrand isn't correct. Anyway, he put the thing with the Eucharist in front of the mule, and he put the food in front of the mule. So it's like, which one is the mule gonna pick? And the mule walked over to where the Eucharist was and like sort of kneeled down, like bowed to the Eucharist or whatever. And so that was one of the miracles. And the other one was shit. I don't remember that either. I used to know all this stuff. Um, I am part human though, and it's been a crazy week, as I mentioned. I got so much going on. This gala will be over soon though, so that's one thing. Um, shit. What the fuck was the other miracle? I don't remember, and don't stop me to lie. But anyway, he's remembered for two major miracles. Um, so that was why. So I asked Isis, um, Because at first I started to pull her cards out, and then I felt like I wasn't supposed to use those. So I asked her what deck, and she said life purpose. And I haven't used those in a while, so I got them. All right, so the first card out of that deck is freedom. You're free to do what you choose. So I just mentioned how we all have free will, and so the universe can lay things before us, and then we get to decide, um, you know, what we actually want to do. So that's one message for now. We have writing. It just fell. Oh goodness, writing just fell out. You heal, inspire, teach, and entertain with the words that you write. So there could be a writing of, you could really put your energy into writing, and maybe this is some sort of journal or book or music or something that you do use to inspire or teach or entertain other people. Or it could be like writing, like we were talking about before, text, an email in order to communicate. Practice. Polish your skills by practicing regularly. Teaching. You inspire young people to learn. The bottom of the deck we have study. So something is going on with, it looks like some sort of education. If you're thinking about learning a new skill, the bottom of the deck, I got school now too. You think about going back to school or something, or about being a teacher, that there is a message here for somebody, very clearly. Light and love just popped out. Your purpose is to bring divine healing light and love to the world. That can be tied to our relationships. Sometimes people don't realize, particularly the masculine, what these relationships are about or what this journey is about. Like, they tend to be awakened in different ways and at a different speed than the feminine. And so they may not realize like the spiritual warfare at the bottom of it, that there are people trying to keep you out of union. So when you get into union, how special it is, um, especially when people come together, even if it's not like the true union that's envisioned for us, but you begin to build for each other the love energy that that puts into the world. The last one here is creative expression. Your soul longs to express itself creatively, and at the bottom of the deck, we have you're on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing because it's working. And under that, we have spiritual teacher. You heal with your classes, sessions, and seminars. So again, somebody is guided to be some sort of teacher or some sort of student or both, and to practice their craft and hone their craft. Talk to your angels if you need help in doing that instead of worrying. Ask for divine guidance. And that's what I have for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I appreciate it. You like your own reading, you can hit me up on any of my social media or whatever, or my website or my email, whatever. But yeah, that's why I'm late, because um, I have had quite a few private readings and healing work, and again, my real life and the volunteerism that I do in my real life as well. Keeping me very busy, but I'm still here to help. So hit me up. Namaste.